taking pictures just to see how I'm talking with you, if that's okay. Is that all right with you? Can you show me on the meter if that's okay with you to make it move? Yes, you can make it move more.
Just move through it, probably enough.
Yeah. Okay, and then this is Sheila, and I introduced Loyd before, and this is Jon, and of course you know the owners of the house, and that is Jade over there, who's Sammy's wife, and my husband is the tall one. Okay, and so like I said, we've just come here to talk to you, and to see if we can introduce ourselves and find out who you are, and if you lived here, or if you're just passing through, or just why you're here. Oh, okay. I'm just covered with goosebumps. He said they came in a wagon. They came in a wagon, and he had 5 children, and they came, and they lived here, nearby. It's very close outside, very close.
Did they take a stake here? Was this a ranch of theirs?
Yes.
Okay.
They lived here. The horses, he's talking to me about horses, that he had horses here, and the children. And so he misses his children, and he comes here to see the children. I see, I understand that, of course, because the children are so happy. Yes. Yes. Okay. They died before you did? Is that what you're telling me? They're buried. Oh, yes, I'm covered with goosebumps again. They're buried close by. The children.
They're buried close by?
They're buried, close by. And, and your wife.
You talking Historical Society?
There's one gentleman who works at the archives. He's really hard to get a hold of. I've kind of played phone tag with him before, but I've never gotten anything concrete. But they say he's the one in town to talk to. I can't think of his name offhand, but I think he's almost in his 90s, so he doesn't do it very often anymore. But I don't know too much else about
They must have
area
some
other than the work.
land deeds or charts or something like
Yeah.
that.
They must have some.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there were a lot of
Maybe
ranches.
Sacramento Public Library will probably have that.
There were a lot of ranches, and
Yeah.
there's a trail up here where there's the remnants of like a homestead that was there, so there were
Yeah.
homesteads out
Right.
Yeah, there are homesteads here, and that's what he's saying. And horses, he bred horses. Okay. Had a lot of horses. Grew a lot of corn. A lot of corn. It's-
My family owned a huge ranch out here, and you're right, horses all through here. It was, just 2, 3, 4 miles that direction.
okay.
So,
Yeah, lots of horses I'm
Yep.
seeing around. Okay. Okay, so what you're telling me, can you give me your name? Can you tell me your name? The name that I'm hearing is Edward Bartholomew something. Are you getting?
I heard Edward. I
Edward.
didn't get the rest of it, but I
Edward.
heard Edward.
Definitely Edward. sounds like Bartholomew, something like that.
Okay.
Which could be a middle name or a last name. Yeah.
Okay, he says that his wife is here, he is here, and some of his children are here.
So that's why we have multiple.
That's why we have multiple people here. And the children come to play with the children who live in this house, to see what they're doing, because they have so many different things than what they had. He says that we like the kitchen because it's so nice, it's so pretty. And he says it's so different. Catherine, are you getting a name, honey?
I got an Irene.
No, I'm getting Catherine. Irene is the oldest girl. Catherine is his wife's name. He called her Katie. And she had a wood stove. And so she likes to come into the kitchen. Well, I can see that she would, Edward.
You ask him where he came from when they came across the country in the wagon trains. Where did they come from?
Where did you come from originally? Did you come from the east?
Question is how far east?
Plain State with an M, Missouri.
That's exactly what I just got.
Missouri?
I would got
That's what I
Missouri.
got too.
Yeah.
Missouri. Yeah, okay. And you're coming Missouri, and there wasn't enough space. You wanted more space, and you wanted to raise the horses.
Was it after the gold rush?
He's drawing the numbers 18. It's either a 96 or 95. I can't make it
Okay.
out. 96 or 95.
So well after the gold rush.
Land was open, and they came and they homesteaded. 22, 23 acres. Large area. Something about the horses in going back and forth, like he would take care of other people's horses.
He stabled horses. Then.
Yeah, yeah, and people would come bring their horses here, and he would take care of them. They would pay him. He says not always in money, sometimes in a turkey. Oh, that's good. That was good for the family, yes. And chickens. People came and gave him chickens. So then they multiplied and they had more chickens and had the eggs and the chickens, and it was a lot of bartering going on with these horses. And he seemed to know a lot about the horses. He knew a lot about them, he's saying how he broke them. Okay, he broke the horses. Mm-hmm. And so he was kind of like a trainer, and he would do that for all these horses that would come, they would stay, he would break them, and then eventually they would go back to who they belonged to. Okay? And so that's kind of what he did. Besides farming and growing things, they grew a lot of food. That's what they did.
Does he have any sense of direction in his present state? So could he tell if he came to this house did he come from the north, did he come from the south?
I get this kind of feeling right through you.
Okay. This is where he came from.
Where is that?
That's out towards Roseville, and that would make sense because that was a major transshipment point. The railroad would go through there. That would be the route it would come through.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
That's what he's telling me. But he says they're lonely, and I'm covered with goosebumps. He says that they feel comfortable here, and that's why they're coming to your house. Okay, that's why you're coming. Okay. And he says, we don't mean you any harm. We just want to be part of a living family. Yes.
So when other people are here and the family's not here, they're here to look for them, for the ghosts. They haven't necessarily been that friendly.
He says that I felt intruded on. I can understand that, Edward. I can understand that. And we don't want to intrude on you. We just wanted to talk with you and understand why you're here. Because the family is very open to you being here. And they're not afraid, and the children are not afraid. And they just wanted to have more information about you so they can know that it's okay. He's standing there shaking his head. I see him kind of in like, he kind of changed. At first, it looked like he had overalls on, and then he changed to maybe like blue jeans and a white shirt.
My wife's seen that.
That's exactly what's been seen.
And that we were trying to figure out if it was two people, because I saw first the denim, and then I saw that gave me chills.
He switches, and he switched.
Yeah, they're not stuck in one outfit.
You're right.
Well, I didn't know this.
Yeah. While I was watching him, he switched clothes, which is interesting. Not seen that before.
Yes, you have.
I have?
Well, not immediately switches,
not
but
immediately.
you've seen somebody with different clothes.
Different clothes,
Kate,
Kate. Yeah, but not immediately
Yeah.
like that. But he switched. It's like he was showing me when he was wearing the overalls, when he was out with the horses, and he was doing all that stuff. And then when he came back here, then he was in the jeans and a white shirt. And I'm going,
So he's got a situational self-image of
You saw him in
himself.
the white shirt.
That's good. That's,
Sarah's seen him in the white shirt and the denim.
Yeah.
okay. He likes you very much. he says that he and his family feel very comfortable here, and he doesn't want to
Did you hear that?
frighten you.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing over there.
that might have been the ice in the cabinet.
Oh, maybe.
I think
Okay.
so. Oh, okay.
Could have been. Yeah.
He says that he doesn't want to frighten you, and he wants you to feel comfortable. He knows that it's strange, but he doesn't know what to do about it. He can't. He says that he has tried to show himself more in a solid form, but he's having difficulty with that. But he says that he's going to keep trying to do that, but he doesn't want to frighten the family. That's what he's saying. He doesn't want to frighten the family.
Could I ask a
Yeah,
question?
well, actually, Sandra, you want to
Okay.
ask?
Just real quick, our 7-year-old son has had a presence kind of go psst, psst in his ear, and it frightens him, and he's kind of catching on that we have stuff going on, and we've been trying to shield him from that. But my question is that one of the children you said he had kind of playing with him, maybe?
Mhm.
Or
Mhm.
I don't know who would be doing that to him, but it kind of scares him. So,
He says, that's my son Robert.
oh, wow.
That's the other male.
And he wants to play with him. He wants him to run outside with him, because that's what he used to do. He would run and run and run, and he wants your son to go running
Wow.
around with him.
He picked the right boy. He's
He's the athletic one, yeah.
He's the right boy. Okay, well, that's what he says. And okay. Edward is saying that he's sorry. That his son, would be frightening your son, but he wants to play with him. Do you want Edward to talk to Robert to tell him not to do that? He's
No.
asking you.
I don't think so. Do you? He's not afraid. He's just curious more than anything. Like
Yeah,
he'll
it's
say,
not
"Hey,
like
what was
he's-
that?" Or it's not a fear.
Okay. Okay.
So maybe Robert should be more try to say, let's go running.
Okay. Edward, did you hear that? The suggestion that maybe Robert could say to their son, whisper in his ear, do you want to go running? We can go play, and we can go run.
Yeah, use the word run, use the word play. Play is a good word to use.
Mm-hmm. He's shaking his head, yes. Okay. Okay. All right, so if you can speak to Robert about that, that would be good. That would be very good. Oh, they love something. There's a cake that you make that smells so good that they love. They
I
all
bake a
come
lot.
in. What is that?
Maybe brownie.
Well, no, I do the chocolate cake most often.
The chocolate cake.
From scratch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no wonder that his wife loves it, and but they all come in. Have you felt a lot of energy when you've been baking
When
the
I
cake?
bake, yeah, all the time. In fact, when we stand at the sink, it seems like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law was here for a week when we were on our honeymoon, and behind this plant, she would see like a shadow while she was doing the dishes, and she knew there was somebody standing there, and then she'd look over, and it would kind of duck behind the counter. There's been a lot of activity in the kitchen.
A lot of they come in the kitchen a lot. They like the kitchen, especially his wife and the children. Excuse me. He says that we ate very well, and that is one of the things that my wife and I miss is the food. Mm.
Possibly one of the worst things about being dead.
Yes, that's one. Edward, we have another friend who has the same situation. She also is dead, and she misses strawberry ice cream and tells us every time we see her that, and so we understand that that's difficult. But you can smell. Is that what you're telling me? You can smell. Yes, he's shaking his head. Yes, he can smell. They can smell.
They should be able to taste too the same way.
Can you taste?
It's the same. It's still being psychic. They just have to focus on the sense of taste. They have
Right.
to focus.
Focus on the sense of taste, and you'll be able to taste that wonderful chocolate cake. Okay? Just focus on next time that she's baking it, come in the kitchen and focus on what it tastes like.
Hold up
And
the
you'll
spatula when it's
remember-
see if they want to lick that.
Leave a little bowl as well, okay? He's shaking his head, yes, that they want to do that. They want to do that. They're all in here. Actually, the children are kind of over in there, that area.
I'm feeling kind of the staticky thing on my arms. I'm
I've
surprised
got
the hair
extreme
doesn't-
cold on my back.
Do you? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The hairs aren't sticking
they're
up
all
yet, but I'm
standing in
feeling
here.
like
Yeah.
like electric.
Yeah, they're all here. And it's so nice to meet all of you. And to know that you're here as a family, which is wonderful. This is the first time that I have seen a whole family together in the state of consciousness that you're in. And so it's very wonderful that you're here. Oh, he says we even prayed together.
Whoa.
Oh. Okay. That's very good. That's very good.
Could I ask a
Yeah,
question?
go ahead.
Gabriella's room. I was just wondering which of you is in Gabriella's room, because I feel you whenever we go in and are able to pick up on our instruments. And I was just wondering who that was, because it's really a nice energy in there, you know, most of the time.
He says that's my oldest daughter, and she was about 12, he said, and she died of pneumonia. It was the saddest day of my life. She was so beautiful and so good. My wife never really got over that. There are things in the bedroom that she really likes, and that's why she stays there. It says that she likes to go there and just kind of hang out, sit, and is there a lot of pink in there?
There is.
Exactly.
And our daughter's almost 12, so it's
Exactly.
Yeah, he says that she loves the pink, that she tells me about all the pink things, and that she wants to identify with Gabrielle to see what it's like being a 12-year-old girl today. Edward, you're very, very wise. He's saying to me that he understands that we are in a different time frame. He understands that.
Well, he's survived into this time.
Yes,
He's just without a body at this point.
yes.
different state of consciousness. But he's still in our time right now.
Yes, he's in our time, and he's fascinated, and the children are fascinated by this time.
Why are they all still here together? That's so unique.
Oh, you have to find, he says, our church was not too far away, and it was a small church. We built it, and we painted it white with wood on the outside, and it had a steeple and a bell. And on Sundays, the minister would ring the bell, and everyone from many miles around would come to the church on Sunday.
So they could hear the bell?
They could hear the bell. It went a long ways. Do you know anything
My
about
wife says there's a
There,
church.
in downtown Lincoln, they have a church just like that, and I think it's by the high school.
Okay.
But
And
it's an old wooden church with a steeple and a bell, and
I wonder how old that is. You know?
I
Yeah.
have no idea.
And
They
that-
went to that church,
check
and
it.
that's the church that they went to. That he's saying that that's the one. He's shaking his head yes, and the bell resonated quite a long ways, and it was because he said everything was open,
That's right.
and so the sound
Carried.
carried.
Yeah. It would bounce around these hills too and bounce
Right.
back.
And his wife had the most beautiful hat that she wore. Edward, you're very sentimental.
Is that why they're all together? Because of their
Yes.
emotional bond? Have they thought about leaving this area? Have they thought about moving on? Have they thought about exploring other areas?
Yes, Edward, have you thought about moving on somewhere else? Or have you thought about going into the light? Or moving to a different area and seeing the rest of the world? Do you know that you can travel? Oh, covered in Christmas again. He says, no, we're not interested. He says, some of our friends are at the church. Is there a graveyard there?
I have no idea.
There's a graveyard there.
Okay.
Okay. It may be all covered up, but he said there's.
There would have been. There should have. If it was from the 1800s, there would
Yeah,
have
been all covered up.
been.
It's there. And he says there are some friends there. So there's some ghosts over there, so you'll have to go over to their
Yes.
church and see what you pick up.
And that's the reason why they're still here. Because they're friends.
Their friends are here. And he's telling me that the children don't want to go. They want to stay. And they all have to stay together, so.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, that is very sweet, Edward. You're a good father.
Do they watch over the house? We have been here a couple of times without the family, and with some of the things that they were a little bit territorial, and we did our best to explain. Did they understand that we were just here, just watching over the place?
He says we felt that you were strangers.
Yeah, that's the
And
impression.
He wasn't sure, and so they were all being very protective of the house, the possessions, of the energy that is here. And a female was there with you,
Yes.
and Edward, was saying that his son Robert didn't like her. He felt that she didn't believe. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Robert was not going to handle that, and he says he didn't handle that very well, and he tried to frighten her.
She did have an experience here, and no one has ever actually, we've never talked about it, but she did have an experience here that she didn't get upset, but she noted some activity.
Yes.
And I was noting, because I'm clairaudient and I can also see them sometimes, and I was seeing shadows that time, which I hadn't seen too much of before.
You
so.
said she didn't want to sleep, right?
She didn't want to sleep in any of the
upstairs.
bedrooms. She stayed down here. Something in her just said, stay here.
Mhm.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
you pinned it right on. No one ever knew that.
Yeah.
Very good.
So, and we were saying that Robert just was watching her.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and we were saying that he feels very protective of this family because of his family. And so far he's been welcomed here, and they really would like to stay and be able to come and go. They're not always here, he says. There's a place where we come and go through the laundry room.
Oh my God.
That's exactly
That's
it.
where we see most of the operation. We see things walking in it, towards it, down. This has been
From
like
every
a.
doorway.
Where
This
is
is
it?
like a hub of activity
It's
right
right
now.
back.
Yeah, it's right over
around the
there.
corner there.
Yeah, it's a laundry room. They come in and out through the laundry room.
Can you tell us why? Because we noticed most of the activity in the dining room, which connects to the laundry room, but we've always been curious what draws them to that area.
It's a portal. It's just the way they come in.
We actually had the vent. We saw, it was the night he saw it for the first time going into the laundry room. I went in there and the little air vent was off its hinge, which it never is. You have to really kind of pull at it to even get it to move. And it was hanging there, and she saw something go in there once where the curtain actually moved.
Mhm.
I've seen
Well,
things
and
go in
then it blew
there.
my nightgown.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah,
And the
that
cold-
explains why all that.
Yeah, and then
That's
over
the
the dining.
activity. They're coming and going.
Yeah.
And where it says that the children run. They run through, and it's like they love your house and they love the kitchen, and so they come in and out.
Just like our other kids. Yeah.
Just like children. And he says that he hopes that it doesn't offend you.
Not at all. I like it.
Okay, that
How many kids? There's two we've heard so far, right? Yeah.
5
5 kids. Okay.
5 children.
So with you having 6, there's a real
Yeah.
parallel, and it's kind of an
Mhm.
affinity that would make sense.
Yeah,
That energy would be the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get a sense of how old Robert is? Is he a younger child or an older child?
He looks maybe 7 or 8. Somewhere.
That might explain why my 7-year-old is the one, or 7-year-old's the one who has the whispering in his
Yeah.
ear.
That's the
Mhm.
one. That's the one he wants to go play with.
And actually, our 8-year-old was in the bathroom upstairs once, and there was nobody else up there. We were down here watching TV, and he heard loud knocking on the door. And he opened it, didn't see anybody there, and he came down crying because he was freaked out that somebody had knocked, and obviously there was nobody up on the second floor to have knocked.
Mm-hmm. Yes, playfulness. Okay.
You want to bring up the
Okay.
thing in the
Um,
kitchen? The fire. You already know that. Okay.
Okay, Edward. Do we have any more questions for Edward?
Well, when they're not actually here, where else do they hang out? Where else do they? Because if they're coming in and out,
Mm-hmm.
are they going back to the location of their home? Are they going to the church? Do they split their time between other places?
Okay, Edward, when you're not here, where else do you go?